because I'm live, I just need to check on my phone over here and then I will introduce myself and we shall get started. I am not seeing it, but I think it's still just setting up. There it is. It's all good. I can put that away and be done. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Brenda Hillard. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but mostly I'm a lover of paper crafts and greeting cards. So I call myself a card maker. I love, love, love making greeting cards. And I have a fun little technique to share with you today. So let me flip down and let's see. I want to just say good morning. You guys, this is kind of funny. So I needed some new Cedar Reader glasses, and then I saw this thing at Home Goods, and it was like, those look kind of cute. They are so big on my face. I look like I'm in a fishbowl. Let me put them on for you. Look at that. My eyes. Like, I look like I have glasses out to here, like a windshield, but I still think it's fun and funny, and I can see really well with them. So there. That's all that matters. All right, I'm going to switch down to my workstation view, and I'll just be watching for people to hop on. I don't want to mess with that a whole lot for that very reason. There we go. Now you can see I've got my coffee here, so this is good. And I can see people hopping on. They just are not saying good morning. So if you're there and you'd like to say good morning, please do. So what I have here for us today is the catalogs, the current catalogs. We have the annual catalog. This is good until April of 2025. And then we have the mini catalog that started the beginning of this month, September 4th. And this is the September through December mini. Some really fun things in there. If you don't have a catalog, please reach out to me and I can send one out to you. Bring one to you depending upon where you are. All right. So is what I'm going to do is I'm going to page 76. This stamp set, Gone Fishing. As you know, I love to fish. In fact, a bobber is my logo. That's just who Create with Brenda is. And the Gone Fishing set, the bundle, and I shouldn't call it a bundle. I should say the stamp set and the dies because it's no longer bundled. You don't save 10%. But this carried over from the last catalog. However, the designer series paper didn't. And so, do you have that where you've bought like the whole suite of products, and then all of a sudden you've used all of your paper, and you still have the stamp set and the dies? And it's what inspired me for this is one of my stamping friends and she's a good friend and neighbor, um, had asked if I had any of this paper left. And I looked and it was like, I do not. But here's an idea. And thanks to Nancy for bringing this to my attention. And it was the inspiration for today's Coffee and Tea with Brenda. By the way, this is episode 409. So we've made lots of cards. But let me show you what I have going on here today with this. And you can tell me, hopefully in the comments, what you think of this. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. And it's all I want to do is I'm going to take a Post-it, and here I am again with the basic base. Remember 2 weeks ago, I was like, I absolutely love this color. And I do. I mean, every time it's kind of become my go-to base. But it's what I'm going to do with this 8.5 by 11 feet of basic base is I'm going to line it up at the 4.25 inch mark. And then I'm going to take my scoring blade and I'm just going to score. I want to turn this then to the 5.5 and I'm going to score again. So now I have made, and I think you can see them, the 4 quadrants on my paper, right? All right. So now here's where the fun begins. I've taken all of the stamps except for the sentiments in this set, and I've mounted them on blocks. So let me just kind of get them out here in order. I don't know where my little, oh, here it is. My feather stamp, and then there's another one for this. So, all right, look at all these I have lined up here, right? So then for my color palette, all I did was I went over and I grabbed all of the colors from the Regal collection. They're all these kind of earth shades, right? Earth tones. So I'm just going to set those over here for now. And then I did grab a couple from the neutrals. I have pecan pie and early espresso. And I have Memento ink. All right, let's start by stamping with our Memento ink. And I'm going to use the bobber outline. Okay, just going to bring this in so I can work in the camera. I'm inking up, and I'm just going to take a scrap piece of paper here, put it up at the top, and I want to start stamping. And is what I'm doing is I'm just going right down the score line vertically, okay, with my bobber. And remember, I was talking about how we don't have designer series paper with this set anymore. So I just kind of want to make my own. And I'm showing you a way you can stamp your own paper. And it really is quite easy. And it's fun once you get everything out. Whoops, that wasn't a real great there. Okay. I'll just try to do it again, see if I can line it up. Great, close enough. All right. So enough for that for now with the bobbers. So now I'm going to take my real red stamp pad, and I'm just going to go along and stamp the bottom half of these bobbers. I still don't see anybody. Maybe my comments aren't working, but I can see there's people on, so that's good. Good morning, who's ever there. So now we have these cute little bobbers, right? Let's bring in our next one. And this is how I chose to do this was, I'm just going to clean my stamp here. Chose to start with my bigger stamp, just to kind of fill in. The outline of this fish I'm going to do with, I don't really know what kind of fish this is either. I think to me, it kind of looks like a trout, but I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is just stamp my fish. Kind of going along um, right by my bobber. I'm just going to do one right here. and here. And another one right here and here. Okay, I guess I can't talk very well when I'm stamping these. It's kind of funny, but it is kind of weird when you're here by yourself stamping and all of a sudden you're I guess it's not all. All right, I'm going to take then this shaded part for the fish, and I'm going to bring in just a scrap of cardstock because I want to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp, and I wanted just a very light image because I wanted to be able to see that pecan pie through. When you do these, don't worry if you don't get them exact. Close is close is good. It's kind of dark. All right. What is it with fish and birds, right? The males are usually more colorful than the females. All right. We're getting close, guys. Just bear with me because these cards are worth the wait. Okay. So now we have our sprout. Let's call them sprouts. And let's bring in, I'm going to bring in the Memento ink again. And now I want to do this little fishing lure. I'm just going to do the outline. You see how I'm just kind of working those core lines and then building out. Got my glass, and not that it hurts the glass. I just don't want to mess up the back of my card spot. All right, I'm going to bring in the filler piece now for this. Okay, now my messages are coming through. Good morning, Mary Manlick. Good morning, Shirley Taylor, and welcome. Good morning, Carol. Ginger. All right. So now I'm going to take the fresh curry and I'm just going to add some color to these little, they look to me like daredevils, but I'm open for suggestions. So do you see what I'm doing here? I'm really just creating my own background paper using stamps. Kind of fun. And it, I realize it's a lot of stamping, but cool part about this is that um, once you're done with this piece, your cards come together really easy and they're really beautiful. So now I'm going to take this pecan pie again, and I'm going to bring in like a fly fishing lure. This one's big too. And is what I want to do is I'm trying not to overlap. If they do, okay. Um, just kind of making that, filling in those spaces. And if you're thinking, oh gosh, is she really going to fill the whole seat? No, I'm not. I started out doing that, and then it was like, you know what? You don't have to do that. It's really good if you don't. Okay, I think that's enough of those. We can always go back and do more if we find that we need it. So now I have this feather that fits the fly fishing lure, and I think I want to do that in like an old olive. We'll add a little more green in here. See how this. Oh yeah, I like it. So this is like a two-step stamp, and like I said, don't worry if you don't get them just right. It's okay. They still look adorable. You guys, I'm kind of hoping the weather shapes up. It's rainy here this morning. I am doing the walk to end Alzheimer's and dementia this afternoon, and I want it to be. I don't care if it's sunshine and whatever. I just don't want it to be raining. My daughter and my granddaughter are walking with me today, and I'm looking forward to spending time with them. And if any of you on here have donated to my walk, thank you very much for your donation. Um, Alzheimer's and dementia, both very cruel diseases, and it would be absolutely wonderful if they could come up with a cure. All right, I'm gonna open up my memento, and I'm gonna grab this little. It's like a minnow. I just want to add a few more spots. It does not have to be covered totally, and you'll see why here in just a minute. But it is kind of fun to have most of it covered. But do you see how our designer series paper is coming together? I just I just love how this looks. And like I said, when I was choosing my colors, I just simply grabbed the Regal family of colors, kind of the earth tones, and that's how I'm creating my palette. So now this one is the Gorgeous Grape, and I'm just going to, again, like I said, these are two-step stamps. So this just adds a little bit of color to that floating jig. Kind of missed on that one a little bit, but like I said, it's okay. You don't really notice. Close is good. And remember, these are fishing lures, so some of the paint could have worn off. All right, so there we have our stamped pieces. Okay. Do I need anything else with that? Not right now. I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer, and now on those 4 lines, I'm going to cut. So 4 1/4, and I'm going to cut, and 5 1/2. I'm going to cut, and the same thing on this one, 5 1/2. Okay, so now we have these pieces that look like this. All right, so here's what I have for, and I'll put all these measurements over on my YouTube channel. I have 4 card bases with wild wheat. We have our 4 bases that we made with our stamp set. I have 4 more pieces of basic base that measure 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to bring in a sentiment that says, "Let's celebrate," and that comes from the Simply Said stamp set, the set of 10 photopolymer greetings, and you can find this in the online exclusive. It will not be published in a catalog, so be sure to check out the online exclusive. So what I want to do with this is I'm just going to stamp the inside of the insert, I should say, the sentiment on the insert for our card. So I have that. And then for the outside, well, let me finish this. On the inside, I also would like to put, on my originals, I did a bobber. On this one, I want to do this little lure. And I'm just kind of hugging that up close to the sentiment. And again, we'll give that, let's do let's do the same color because I didn't wash my camera. All right. I just saw something I forgot to do on our cards, but that's all right. We can tell it is. So I'm just going to stamp a little bit of color again inside these lures, our little daredevils. Okay. So one thing I forgot to stamp on our cards is there's this water, and blueberry bushel is one of the Regal colors. So all I'm going to do is bring this in, and I'm just going to add a little bit of water here and there. And this one, I don't really care, I guess. If it does overlap, it's okay. Oops, little scrap piece, but that's the beauty of these glass sheets too. Let me bring this upstairs so that I don't keep doing that. Let's do the same with this one. Okay. Sorry about that. I was get, getting ahead of myself. That's all right. It happens to all of us. I'm just getting some of these edges so it looks a little bit more filled in. And here's our last one. Okay, there. Now we've used all of the stamps in the set except for the sentiments. So how good is that, right? When can you say that you've done this? Here's our insert. And is what I've done for our sentiment. And you guys, if you don't have these, you're going to want them. They are the perennial postage dies. And I've cut 4 of the um, middle size. So I guess it's second to the largest. And now I've got blue ink on these before it was brown. And then I die cut 4 of the basic beige with the smaller, the second to the smallest die for our sentiment. And let's stamp on these. I'm going to be using this happy birthday. And the happy birthday comes from the Friends for Life. This is the annual catalog. This is a really fun set. When I first looked at it, I thought, no. But then as I started going, it was like, these are pretty cool. Who's saying, oh, Mary, my trip with my sister was a blast. Um, but you know what, Mary? It is good stress therapy stamping background paper. It really is. And like I said, it looks a lot, but wait till the cards because it's so worth it. I'm going to bring in my early espresso ink, and I just want to use that happy birthday. I like this little block font, especially for a more, what do I want to say? Maybe a masculine themed card. However, remember, we ladies love kisses too. So, all right. So there's our 4 happy birthdays. And as all I want to do with these is I'm going to add a little stamp and seal to the back of each. And I'm going to add these to the early espresso die cut piece. Just kind of centering them up on there. All right. So here we go. Let's put our stamp in dimensionals because you know me. What is a card without dimensionals, right? Adding my dimensionals. My sister and I were in Bayfield last weekend. We had so much fun. We did the Apostle Island cruise and went around to all the islands except for one. And um, then the next day we took the ferry across to Madeline Island and we rode across with a full size semi truckload of, oh, I know what I forgot to do with these, you guys. I decided But I wanted to trim these down to 3 3/4. And now because I've already put this on there, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 3/4. And I just cut part of my die off, but that's all right. I think this will actually look kind of cool, but I'll do it correctly on the next one. And then I wanted this at 5 because I wanted to mat this on a piece of early espresso, like so. So I'm just going to add some steel. See what happens when I start talking? I lose my place and then I start making all kinds of different cards, which is not all bad either, but you know. We did have this set up to show you, so we should continue on. All right, I'm just going to center this on and fold. So now this one has a straight edge there, but that's great. It looks cute, I think. And it'll look like it was intentional when it really was. All right, so there's card 1. I'm just going to add some here. Put this on the inside of our card. Good. Fold it over. And now this one, before I actually put my sentiment on, I just want to trim this one down to 3 3/4. And I'll do by, and then my early espresso mats are cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 because I wanted just that small little border. Center that on my card again. Made it sound like a sweater cardigan. I'm really funny today, aren't I? Right, put this on the inside. And I can cut these both at the same time. So I'm going to do the 3 3/4 by, and I've got my little mat cut out for those as well. Cool. Put those on our, again, the measurement for the match is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Right on here. And one more mat. And you see how I have those blank spots on there, right? Put that on and let's get our, or somehow, oh, I bet it was when I was messing around over there. That's okay. I'll figure out something to put on it. But I have a little bit of brown ink on the corner there. All right. So take our backings off. And then on these pieces where we see the kind of that blank spot that was in the middle, that can just be filled in with our sentiment, right? And if you cut your piece before you put your sentiment on, then you don't see it. This one really kind of has stuff all over. I'm just going to put it right on there. And this one. This one can go right up here. Okay, so we kind of have our sentiments all in different places. And then when you open it up, it says let's celebrate. And these pieces, if you wanted to, would be really cute just to put across the bottom if I hadn't, if I hadn't stamped something. It just kind of looks like coordinating paper. So I'll hang on to those. Maybe I'll use those. I'm gonna try my sand eraser here and see if I can get this ink to come off the paper. It looks like it may have been there just a little bit longer, but figure out something for that. Not to worry. All right. So there we have it, you guys. And these, being that the background papers are so busy, we really don't need an embellishment. But if you wanted to do an embellishment, a metallic, um, a metallic embellishment of sorts would be awesome. All right. Be sure to give this technique a try with your floral stamps too. Absolutely stunning. Um, and that's all for today. I have to get this uploaded and on my way to the walk. And I will see you all next Saturday at 9 a.m. Central. What do we have? Ginger says, cute die cards. Yeah, and easy, right? Quick and easy, 4 of them. And the stamping piece of it, it does take a little bit, but I think it's worth it. So, all right, you guys have a great rest of your weekend and wish me well on my walk to end Alzheimer's today. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.